Welcome to Dorset. Today we're in the north of Dorset and Christmas has come early. Great to see you all again, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we've journeyed up to North Dorset and hopefully I'm going to realise a shot that I've been chasing for a long time. I found this beautiful tree-lined avenue back in the spring, and I know Dorset pretty well, and it's quite rare for me not to know most of the places here, but this one I'd seen before in pictures, but I didn't know where it was. And one day I happened to take a wrong turn and bang, there it was. And ever since then, I've been absolutely hell-bent on coming down here and getting a perfect shot from it. Now, the shot I've been after is obviously autumn, really. That's the key to it. And I wanted it with nice sort of amounts of mist and fog in there. Now, it's a little bit late. It's just before December now, and most of the leaves have gone, but we have got some beautiful canopy left still over here. And I'm hopefully going to incorporate that into the shot. But we have got fog and it's been beautiful. Now, I've got to be honest, most of my shots I've already done this morning because I got down here, it was perfect conditions and I didn't want to miss out. So I just got straight on with the business of getting the pictures, because after all, that's what we do it for. I wasn't too worried about the video, but you know, now that I've sort of got a few pictures in the bag, I feel like I can do a bit of a video on it and share this one with you. Now, I've kept this one really quiet for a little while. It is a known location, but it's not really well shot, and some of you might be familiar with a location called Beach Avenue in Dorset, which is a beautiful tree-lined road leading through, and it does get a lot of fog down there and it looks really great. But the problem with Beach Avenue is it's got the white lines in the road all the way down, and it's not particularly attractive. I mean, the location is so nice that you can forgive it, but this particular one, it's beautiful because there's no tree, no road markings on the avenue at all. It looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm really pleased and really hoping to nail this particular one. Now, one of the other advantages that this location offers is it is a road, but it's not in use. It's not open to the public in terms of cars, but the public are very welcome to walk up and down it. So it's absolutely perfect. It means I can stand in the middle of the road without the worry that the cars will come down. Now, the estate owner does drive up and down here occasionally, so there is a situation where you might get a car, but it's very rare that you do. So it really does offer a real sort of attractive possibility for the photographer to get some decent shots. But I'm absolutely in awe of these conditions. The fog is perfect, and it just gives it that real ethereal look. And without the fog, the shot's nice. I mean, it is really beautiful, but it's just not quite what you want. But with the fog, it's perfect, and that's exactly what we're after. Now, if I had to be picky about it, I would have loved to have a little bit more leaves on the trees. Most of them have dropped, but there is some on this canopy just here which are really nice, and I've tried to get as far back as I can to incorporate that into the shot, but it does make it quite tricky because there's lots of other leaves sort of poking in and out, and you know, the composition's not ideal. As you go further in, it's more of a sort of a skeleton of the tree, so I've tried sort of incorporating that as well, and I've tried to do sort of both shots, but the ones with the leaves on really did look a little bit nicer, so I've kind of, you know, stuck to those a little bit more than going further in. But I've walked all the way along the avenue and I've tried to sort of do various different shots. Now, when you're in this particular situation, it's really only one shot here. I mean, you are kind of like middle of the path looking straight down. It's the classic sort of, you know, composition really. It's leading lines all converging in, beautiful sort of like trees, canopy right over the top, so it's just perfect. You can go either side, and I have, you know, tried to do a few shots either side from it just to see if I can get something a little bit different. But there's not going to be hundreds and hundreds of shots at the end of this one. It's you know, pretty much one or two, all going to be very, very similar, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's well worth shooting. As I say, it looks absolutely beautiful, and I'm super, super happy that I've got down here. Now, in terms of kit today, I'm on the 24-105, and I found that lens to be absolutely perfect for this one. There's lots of areas where you need to sort of zoom in and kind of compress everything down, and the 24-105 is absolutely perfect for that. I've got the 100-400 with me, and I have kind of played around with it, but it's not giving me quite the shot that I want, so I'm going to leave that one alone for a little while. As the fog sort of rolls in, I might go onto it though later on, just to, as I say, compress everything down and get that real, you know, sort of extra amount of fog in there. The wide angle, totally not using it today. It doesn't really suit this particular scene. It's nice when there is a canopy in there, but where it's quite bare at the moment, I want to really put focus on it. The other problem we've got is down the sides of it, you've got a fence, and I don't really want to incorporate this fence in there. It doesn't look particularly attractive. And if you go either side of it, you are going to get the fence in there. So it's a bit of a, you know, you kind of have to make a compromise with this particular shot, and I have had to do that, but I'm pretty confident that I've got something reasonable. The trees are slightly unique in that they're not quite sort of symmetrical. They're not right next to each other. They're slightly staggered. So it does make your composition a little bit difficult. So I've had to kind of work some magic with that and, you know, try and just get a composition that works. But I'm really tempted to actually crop this down and use a square crop on this particular shot. I have played around with that in camera and just had a quick look to see what it's like. And it is quite possible that I might go with a square crop, but we'll have to wait and see. I've also taken a couple of portrait ones. The portrait shots have enabled me to get this nice canopy in and get the road without getting too much of the sort of the sides, because the sides are a little bit bland, not much going on there. So, you know, portrait was quite good, but the ideal shot for me here is I want to get a nice landscape orientation, and I want to just get, you know, that density of fog in there, which is fading a little bit now, but it still looks good. And of course, get this canopy. Now, first thing this morning, the wind was pretty low. There was hardly anything there, so it wasn't too bad. But the wind has picked up now, and it started to move these leaves around a bit. So I'm having to pay careful attention to the ISO that I'm using. And I've been shooting up to ISO 400 on this, and it seems to be coming out quite nice. But, you know, I just want to make sure I don't have any movement in there. One thing that has helped me today is varying the height of the tripod. Now, I tend to shoot at eye level. It's a comfortable shot. I enjoy shooting at eye level. It's what you see, so I'm kind of into that. But I have done a few low down shots with the tripod really, you know, sort of down to its bottom legs on these ones, just to kind of get that angle and shoot up a little bit and just get those trees as they're all converging together and get what little is left of that canopy in there. So it is really worth, when you come and do this type of shot, to vary the height of your tripod and just see if it does change that composition for you, because it can make all the difference. Now, in terms of aperture, I've actually been shooting at f4 on this one, and the reason I've been doing that is I do want that focus to fall off as it goes down through the lane, because I'm really not interested in what's in the back, because it's just a mass of fog really, so there's not you know, an awful lot to see there. So the focus dropping off actually works, and I'm focusing on the trees that are actually closest to me on this one. F4 seems to be working quite well with it. It's got the added bonus that it is giving me that faster shutter speed, which means I'm able to cope with some of these leaves moving around as well. So, you know, it really is helping with that one. I do tend to, you know, a lot of people tend to shoot forests and, you know, looking for separation with f4 and that. And I do tend to shoot a lot of them with a bit more of a narrow aperture, because I like to get a little bit more depth of field. But when you've got fog and you have got that separation, then going to a wide open aperture really does help the shot, and it will give you that sort of like ethereal, dreamy look as you're going through the scene, because the focus is just dropping off. So yeah, it's well worth using something like that when you've got these conditions. Now, come over to the side to try and get this shot, just to try and get a little bit of a different angle. So I've got the line sweeping in from the bottom left, and the path following all the way down. And the mist is starting to go a little bit. The fog's just, you know, kind of breaking up, but I'm just trying to get, you know, those sort of skeleton of the trees as we've sort of moved further down the lane here, and just get a different angle as the path comes in. But yeah, I think it's probably not quite as a pleasing angle, but I do like it, so I'm going to include it anyway. But yeah, doesn't look too bad. Anyway, it's going to be a really, really short vlog today. As I say, there's not loads to show you. There's not really much to tell you about it other than you can see the shot itself. So I'm going to stick a few of these pictures up. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please do hit that like button. It really does help the video to get out. And if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.